Hours. That is how long it took to shape the tiny structures inside a photonic chip. A Chinese research team just cut it to seconds. Same precision. A fraction of the time. Now sit with that. Imagine inventing the world's fastest race car. Then discovering it takes 3 months to build each one. That has been the quiet story of photonic chips. Brilliant on paper. Almost impossible to build at scale. Because the barrier was never the physics. It was the factory. And that barrier may have just cracked. But the real story is not the speed. It is what the speed unlocks. Start with the machine you know. Every modern chip moves information with electrons, pushed through copper wires. For 50 years, that worked beautifully. Then artificial intelligence broke the pattern. Training a model means moving rivers of data between thousands of processors. Over and over. The numbers exploded. The copper did not scale. And copper has limits. Push more data through metal, and it heats up. Heat wastes power. Power costs money. Past a certain speed, the wire becomes the bottleneck. This is the wall the industry is hitting. Not how fast a chip thinks. How fast it talks. Data centers burn energy. Just moving information. Moving data is now one of the largest energy costs in computing. So engineers asked a new question. What if you stopped using electricity to move data? What if you used light? Not lasers across a room. Not quantum magic. Just information encoded in pulses of light. Guided through tiny channels in the chip. Those channels are called waveguides. And light carries more data than copper, with far less heat. Which raises a question. If light is so much better, why is every chip still electronic? Here most people guess wrong. They assume the problem was physics. Too hard to control. Too unstable. Too strange. It was not. The physics worked for years. The problem was building the thing. You could design it. You just could not make enough of it. A photonic chip is not one part. It is a dense city of optical structures. Waveguides to steer light. Resonators to trap color. Splitters to divide beams. And three-dimensional shapes that bend light through space. Building them with precision was painfully slow. Imagine printing a newspaper by hand. One letter at a time. Now print millions of copies that way. The technology worked. The factory never could. Until this week, scaling these chips was impossible. You had to carve them one by one. It took hours. It was a dead end. But then, a team at the Chinese Academy of Sciences stopped carving. They started folding. They use a curtain of argon ions to stress the pattern. It forces the two-dimensional layout to snap into a three-dimensional structure. Instantly. 100 times faster than the old way. They didn't just invent a chip. They invented the assembly line. Here are the receipts. In July of 2026, that same team published in the journal Advanced Materials. The researchers came from the Institute of Physics, under the Chinese Academy of Sciences, working with the University of Hong Kong. The lead author is a doctoral student named Yi Wang. The structures they build are tiny, smaller than a speck of dust. Here is that fold in slow motion. They start flat. They pattern simple two-dimensional shapes onto a thin membrane. Spirals, floral outlines, tiny wings, ordinary flat designs, made with standard lithography. Then comes the clever part. They flood the whole wafer with argon ions. Not a needle-thin beam on one spot. A broad, even wash of particles, sweeping the entire surface at once. The ions strike the material. They build up stress beneath the surface. And that stress makes the flat shapes bend. Upward. On their own. Folding into precise three-dimensional structures. No lasers. No molds. No carving. Just ions and stress. They call it ion-beam-induced origami. And that word is the perfect picture. Picture a flat sheet of paper. It folds itself into a crane, all on its own. Except here, thousands of shapes fold at once, across an entire 4-inch wafer. In a single pass. One wafer. Thousands of structures. All at the same instant. That is the whole trick. Parallel, not serial. The process holds its angles. Over 97% uniformity. Across the whole wafer. And it runs more than 100 times faster than the old point-by-point method. Same precision. A fraction of the time. That is the leap. From hours to seconds. So why should anyone outside a lab care? Because speed turns an experiment into a product. Here is the truth nobody says out loud. The world never needed a faster photonic chip. It needed a faster way to make them. The chip was never the hard part. The factory was. A design that takes hours can exist as a demo. It can never fill a factory. Factories need thousands of identical parts. Made fast. Made cheap. Made the same every time. Every hour you save on one step multiplies down the whole line. Cut that step to seconds. Suddenly a handful of prototypes becomes something you can run at scale. Speed on the bench means little. Speed on the line means everything. That is the difference between a lab curiosity and a real product. And that is why this matters to the biggest names in computing. Take a modern artificial intelligence data center. It is not one giant brain. It is thousands of processors, all sharing data, with each other and with memory. The faster they talk, the more the wiring strains. So the industry is racing toward optical interconnects and co-packaged optics, moving light closer to the processor. But every one of those parts has to be built, and complex designs have been slow and expensive to make. This is not about one chip. It is about how many you can build. A faster way to shape three-dimensional structures chips at that wall. It makes richer photonic designs practical. It does not rewire the data center overnight, but it loosens a knot that held the field back. Now some honesty. This is where most coverage stops. And it is the part that matters most. This is still laboratory research. A demonstration on a 4-inch wafer is real. It is not a production line. A wafer in a lab is not a warehouse of chips. Not yet. The team has not shown manufacturing yield, or how the parts behave once packaged into devices, or how the method holds up across millions of units. Those are the exact challenges that have humbled chip technologies before. And one more thing. The wild figures online, a chip made thousands of times faster, come from stretching one rough comparison into a hero number. The honest claim is narrower, and still impressive. One stubborn shaping step. Sped up by more than 2 orders of magnitude. Measured against the older focus beam method. Not the whole chip. Not the whole factory. One bottleneck. Real progress usually looks like this. Precise. Limited. And easy to exaggerate. So step back. Because this is bigger than one fabrication step. Here is the read. This is not just another lab breakthrough. It is an early signal. A signal that China is trying to drag optical computing out of theory and onto the assembly line. From a paper to a production line. That shift is the whole game. And look at where the chip war has actually been fought. Over one choke point. Lithography. Who can print the smallest features on silicon? The sanctions. The export controls. All aimed at that single bottleneck. But this move sits on a different axis. It does not print smaller. It builds faster. In a domain that plays by different rules. Now stay honest. This paper still uses lithography to draw its patterns. It does not erase the bottleneck overnight. And a wafer in a lab is not a factory. But hold the trend in view. If China industrializes photonic manufacturing, the fight everyone is watching may not be the fight that decides it. The hardware bottleneck the West controls starts to look less permanent. The companies sitting on top of it start to look less untouchable. That is the uncomfortable possibility. Not that China already won, but that the war was being fought on the wrong map. The real move was never a smaller transistor. It was a faster factory. This is the kind of workaround that could make the chip war look like a distraction. And almost nobody was watching it. If this story gave you a new way to see photonic manufacturing, subscribe now. Because we track the moves that don't make the headlines. The shifts that rewrite global power before the mainstream catches on.